The show where there are no penalties, nothing is offside, and everything is fair game. This is The Gloves Are Off.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off. I'm Moses Woldu. We had a great show for you, and of course, we're going to talk about a lot of things local, considering we have both the Junior A's and the Midget AAA's doing a fine thing for referring to the Bobcats. And we have our good friend here, of course, my co-host every week, who likes me so much that he keeps coming back, Andrew Brethauer.
I thought you were going to call me a fine thing.
A fine gentleman.
Should be.
Well, you know what? I try to change it around. I insult you.
Next week you're going to insult me.
Yeah, and the week after, I'll be nice to you. Now, this guy, he's been nice to us. Decided to come by once again, Shane Tomayer. And what's really nice about you is your hockey knowledge, especially this area. You've done a lot of broadcasting for many years, with the Junior A's. Of course, you've done some with the Border Kings as well. We're pleased to have you on.
Pleasure to be here. It's perfect time of season for talking about playoff hockey.
Absolutely, and we'll kick it off really quick right now and talk about those Junior A Bobcats looking to get that second round, or third round, I should say, underway for the first time in a long time, that they'll be going to the North Final, and it's no surprise that they're going to face the Spruce Grove Saints, who are perennial AJHL favorites. This time around, especially during the regular season, the matchups were pretty even. You look at where both teams stand. Of course, the way the second halves went, Spruce had a little bit of an easier road compared to the Bobcats, but either way, they're both in the North Final. I say to you guys, who do you have to win, and some of the reasons as to why they would win?
I think if any team's going to beat Spruce Grove, it's going to be the Bobcats. I think they've matched well against them all season long. The season, I guess, is a split technically in terms of wins and losses. I don't care about loser points and overtime, but the Bobcats seem to have their number. They've put Spruce Grove on their heels more than any other team in the AJHL. I think that they're built for it, and right now they're rolling. They're peaking at the right time.
They're playing, like I said, they're playing the best hockey they've probably played all season. Those first two games against Drayton were kind of getting used to the playoff waters, and then since then it's just been full steam ahead. And this is not the team that played Spruce Grove 2 months ago. This is in a sense a completely different team. I don't know if Spruce Grove's ready for that, because they're kind of the same. They're methodical, they pick you apart, and they make you make mistakes. But the way the Bobcats have been playing have been, we're just going to put a bunch of goals up on you and then make you come at us. And that's how it's been for the last 5-6 games. So you start doing that to Spruce, making Spruce get on their heels and start coming back. I don't know if Spruce can hold on to that, even though they do have the talent and the history of being able to come back.
One of the nicest things for the Bobcats, at least going into this series, is that they're getting scoring, like you mentioned, Andrew, but it's not just a certain line or a certain player. They're getting it from all four lines, essentially, and same thing from their back end. With that said, is there a player, maybe two, that will emerge for the Bobcats, or even so for Spruce Grove, that will win the series for either team?
I think obviously goaltending is always going to be a big factor, but when I look at that Bobcats roster, and I've said it all season long, I think a guy like Eric Benshadel is playing at the peak of his game. He's really turned some heads here in the playoffs. I think he did through the regular season as well. But I made the comparison on the game the other night that he's really looking like a Justin Williams type of guy. That when you need that big goal at the right moment, you need a spark, he's going to set it. Chris Spriggs is looking to get his scoring touch back. Smythe is really starting to turn things on, and we haven't seen a lot out of guys like Kevin Dara. He hasn't done a lot in the playoffs yet. You know that he's heating up. He's going to get there as well. So it's just a boiling point right now. Everything's taken off at the right time.
It's interesting when times have changed, and we're talking about Bobcats goal scorers when we've never actually had them before. But as you mentioned earlier, the goaltending, and this is what Alex Leclerc was brought in to do. He was brought in to play these big games, to win these big games that the Bobcats have never won before. So I'm expecting him to be, this is his coming out party. This is what everyone's planned for. This is why he was brought in, is to play the Saints, beat them in the North Final, and go on to bigger, hopefully better.
And then maybe on the other side then, would it be like a Tyler Bush, a guy who's from the area, that will be a significant factor for Spruce? Or
it's going to be
maybe
huge.
even their net minding?
Their goaltending is always strong. They've had that depth for a lot of years, but guys like Bush, guys like Hunter, they've got local characters that are 20-year-olds as well. This means a lot for them. It's a big series for those guys coming to play at home. One last kick at the can. They've had success already. One last chance to get another taste of it, and it's going to be a hard-fought battle.
All right. Well, add to your point here. Andrew?
No, I'm good. You basically said it.
I'll speak for him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Speak.
All right, well, you know what, I'll get Andrew to speak on this. Let's talk about those midget AAAs. The Bandit Pipeline Bobcats seem to be on cruise control, and I think that's putting a lot of teams, I guess, on notice if you look at how they did. And I know you and I, Shane, were looking at this before. You look at Austin McGrath and the way he's played, 9 games, 6 shutouts. Then you look at the goal scoring. Everybody's scoring in bunches. In that championship alone, in the midget final, they put up 23, or was it 18, 18 goals, gave up 0. Andrew, what would you say about this team? Do they have the or if they even do make it to the TELUS Cup, are they the favorite?
I think based on, like you said, they're running 4 lines. Nobody runs it. Like, it's so hard to find a midget team in anywhere, not just in Lloyd, but in this country, that can run that kind of option and that kind of system. That's what makes this team so dangerous, is that, and they can play any kind of style. They kind of showed it in the final, and they showed it this whole playoffs. You want to play scoring, they'll beat you 10-0. If you want to play in a checking kind of game, they'll beat you there too. They're built for playoff hockey, and they're built for doing great things. You can look back to what they did in Bantam. It's the same team that can just keep winning, and they know, and that's what they know for doing. They're known for winning, and they know how to win and get the job done, especially in bigger games.
It goes even further back than that. A lot of these kids played together in Pee Wee AA, and they've had success all the way through, and have been able to keep that primary core together. It's such a blessing for those guys. It's a gift when you can have the number of bodies together that they have for this length of time at this level of hockey. It doesn't happen. Guys move away, new guys come in, change things up, and like you said, they've got scoring top to bottom. They're obviously very strong defensively. And I mean, the shutouts, yeah, you look at the goalie, but that also comes down to the defense as well. And they've got fantastic defenders on this team. To say that they're the favorite going, into their playoff now against the BC team, and then into the TELUS Cup. Tough to say that they're the favorite, but they're nowhere near an underdog.
I guess maybe I should change it, necessarily calling them favorite, because again, we haven't seen necessarily other teams that have qualified just yet. In Valley West, we still don't know how qualified this team could be. They could be excellent and take that series. But just saying, if they do make it to the TELUS Cup, guys, what percentage, knowing what we've seen from the midget AAAs, what percentage would you give them in terms of winning the TELUS Cup?
It's a high percentage. I don't know what the number would be. Let's call it 82% if you want a number. But
that's very specific.
It is
too.
You can't beat a team that you can't score on. Simple as that. I mean, if they get the defensive performances that they've been having against the quality of teams that they have, think about the fact they won silver at the Max tournament at Christmas time as well. If they can muster a goal by the numbers right now, a goal wins them a hockey game every time.
And they're not getting bad. They're not getting worse.
No.
They're just getting better. And this is like, they just won their league championship, and they're still not even at their peak yet. And that's the scary part. Like, they're just, like, Austin just played his best game in net, the last game, and now I'll go play probably 2 more against the Valley West, and then go into a TELUS Cup where they're going to be, it's his last kick at this as well. So I'm going to go, I'll say 70%, just because I'll give some respect to the rest of Canada, but that's still, like, I would put their odds at better than coming home and bringing a TELUS Cup home than anybody else in the country.
And would you believe that potentially, hasn't been happening or hasn't happened yet, but we could see both a national title at the midget level and the junior A level, all in Lloydminster in the same year?
Moses just jinxed the whole thing.
Nice work, pal.
All right, well, you know what? Stop hating on me. We had a commercial break. Maybe it'll wash the minds of everyone else out there. We got some more great topics, including the NHL and the unveiling of a couple emails from a couple years ago. Stay tuned.